So working in implementation is 1 year is equal to working in support project for 5 years. You can implementation will get enough time to learn. I mean, sorry, it's a complex and it's a you will get a good knowledge if you work on implementation. And rollout also same. So that's how. So now in this case, Accenture they got the project from JSW or any Toyota. So now Toyota told like okay implement the SAP for the organization within 1 year for they given the 400 crores to the Accenture. Accenture now they what they do they will form the they will hire the people first of all they'll hire the consultants. So like they hire the PM consultant, QM consultant, finance consultant, HR consultant, like different consultant they are going to hire. So that's how you get the opportunities and you have to join the company. Okay. So now tomorrow they will Accenture they will form the 100 members team. There will be a project managers will be there. There will be a programmers managers will be there. So there will be different team will be there to implement the SAP. So that is called as ASAP methodology. So interview question I will explain that at the end of the class. Okay, in detail. Any doubts so far? Is it clear? Any doubts, guys?
It is clear.
Clear, right? So
Clear.
yeah, if you have a doubt, then let me know. Okay, I can address this. So now I will come to the basics of PM model. So basics of PM model. This project, how they implement the projects and all. Like tomorrow, once you join the company, what is your what you have to do first? All those things I explain at the end of the course. So now I'll be moving on to the PM model. So I explained ERP, explained SAP, and how the IT companies they get the project. So what are different types of model? What are your roles and responsibilities? I mean, in detail, I will see it later. So different types of projects. So all those things I explain. Now, now I will explain the basics of PM model. So what is nothing but PM model first? So this is one of the SAP model. Use it to maintain that assets nothing but machineries, function location technique equipments etc. So all this. So PM model is the one of the model in SAP. So it used to maintain the assets. What is nothing but maintain? Like if you go to the organization, like if you visit any plants or factories, plant nothing but is a factory only. So in SAP terminology, we call it as a plant. So if you visit any plants or a Toyota plant or some other Philips plant, manufacturing plant, so you could see like so many thousands of machines, so many machines will be there, no? And so how to do the maintenance of those machines? Because in any organization, revenue is dependent on the production. If you produce the more components, you can sell them, and the company will get the production. I mean, money, right? So if the production is not good, then revenue get decreases, and it's a loss to the company, right? So how the production increases then? So if you have a good machine, okay, then if they're working well, so obviously your production also get increases, right? So that's how, like how to do the now machine these machines you have to do the service maintenance on time basis, timely basis. Okay, if you don't do the this one maintenance, then obviously they will start giving the problems, breakdown will happen, and there will be production loss, right? So if you have a one vehicle like bike or car, you have to do the service, right? If you don't do the service for 5 years after that, you will face a lot of problem, right? So that's why. So service nothing but in PM model we call as a maintenance. Okay. So now in SAP PM model, there are so many maintenance process like corrective maintenance, breakdown maintenance, preventive maintenance, refurbishment maintenance, calibration maintenance process, capital maintenance process. So these are the mechanical terminologies. Okay, you are not from the maintenance background, but I'm going to explain from the scratch. So don't worry, like here in introduction class, just I will give the small overview, and when I come to the particular topic, no, I can explain with the details. In detail, we are going to study. Okay, so what is nothing but corrective maintenance? These are the basic first you need to understand. So corrective maintenance nothing but is a small kind of repairs. Small, there's no production loss. Machine will be running, but okay, I will tell you one example. There is a small leakage in the machine, or some vibration is going on. So now, okay, these are a small minor problem. Even just you can with the equipment running also you can tighten the bolt, so it will resolve the problem, right? Or else if there is a leakage is going from the wall, there is a leakage, you can put some sealant, seal, and you can arrest the leakage, right? So that's how you can, if you don't stop those, if you don't take corrective action, if you don't do the corrective maintenance, what happens, it will lead to the big problem. So that small vibration will lead to the big problem. And if the leakage, if the full oil goes from the engine, like after that equipment will lead to the breakdown, right? So once the breakdown happens, so there is no production. I mean, machines stop working and you don't get the production from that equipment, right? So obviously it will impact revenue if the production less. So these kind of small repairs we call as corrective maintenance. So usually there won't be any production loss. Okay, equipment will be running, but minor problem you need to correct immediately. If you don't correct, it will lead to the big problem. So these are called as corrective maintenance. Way of doing the maintenance is called as corrective maintenance. So breakdown maintenance. Breakdown nothing but, and there is a gearbox. I think you know a gearbox, right? Inside gearbox, gears, teeth, shafts, like so many parts will be there now. You know motor also. Motor, right? In electrical motor. So motor, there will be so many. If the motor gone, gearbox, some important parts gone, then equipment will stop working. I mean, equipment nothing but machine. Machine will stop working. So obviously, stop working means it's a production. You are not getting any production from that equipment, right? So machine is off condition. So breakdown nothing but is a production loss, right? How to attend, how to do the attend this maintenance, how to do this maintenance repair is called as breakdown maintenance. Maintenance nothing but repair. How to repair the equipment machine is called as breakdown maintenance. And preventive maintenance nothing but is a, one of the planned scheduled maintenance. So there will be equipment machines, so you have to do the maintenance on timely basis. Like when you buy the machines or equipment, right, they will give when you have to do the maintenance. Like every month you have to do the greasing, every 1 year you have to change the bearing, like that there will be some planned maintenance activities will be there, so that's how you have to do accordingly. So this both preventive maintenance, if you do the proper maintenance, you can avoid the breakdown, right? So refurbishment nothing but there are some critical parts will be there in the equipment. Like as I said, motor, gearbox, these are very critical part. Now, and it's a costlier part also. Motor and gearbox, these are costly, right? So motor, now due to current fluctuation or voltage fluctuation, so your motor got burnt. Okay, so there is a inside winding, small winding gun. Okay, so instead of buying the new motor cost is 10,000 euros. Now, if you repair that damaged motor, I mean breakdown motor, right? So instead you can change the wiring. That will takes only 500 euros. So if you repair, then in future also that same second hand, we call it second hand motor. Like you can use it for next time, right? Instead of the buying, so that's why it's a savings, cost saving to the organization. How to refurbish, recondition of the critical parts, spare parts is called as, material is called as refurbishment process. So I'll give one example. You have a bike, right? So bike, what happens, there's a indicator gone, like left indicator, right indicator, or headlight is not working, but still you can drive the bike, right? So, but however, you have to correct those. We have to put light indicators, etc. in night while driving in the night, right? So that how to repair the indicators, lights is called as corrective maintenance. Small, small maintenance. It's not stopping you, okay? And breakdown nothing but you have a bike. That is one of the equipment. Now, engine got seized. So if the engine sees it, then you cannot drive the bike itself, right? It won't get switch on, right? So obviously in that case, it's a production loss. I mean, you cannot drive. Similarly, if the machine breakdown also, there's a production loss. I mean, machine will be off condition. So this is called as breakdown. And always, all the company's intention is to avoid the breakdown. Preventive maintenance. So you have the bike. Okay, when you purchase from XYZ company, they will give the maintenance schedule, right? Service schedule. Like first month you have to give it for the service. Third month you have to give it for the like whenever if you use the bike for 6 months, you have to give it for the service like five like based on time, based on kilometer, how many kilometer you drive, right? So like that, first three service will be free. Service nothing but maintenance. So that's how, that is called as planned maintenance. You know when to do, what maintenance has to be done when, and what maintenance has to be done in preventive maintenance. So why you do the preventive maintenance? To avoid the breaker. See, if you are keeping, if you do the proper service and all, like you can keep your bike in good condition, right? It never face any issue, right? So there will be time based and performance based maintenance will be there. So based on the time, 1 month, 6 months, you can do some kind of maintenance activities. Performance nothing but like based on usage, like bike kilometer reading. You can machine usage hours, you can do maintenance. You will understand this later. Next, refurbishment. Okay, refurbishment means reconditioning of the critical part. Okay, so example, if there is a bike is one of the machine, I mean equipment. So if the engine gone, then you cannot throw the engine, right? Engine got seized. You cannot purchase a new engine and to fit it, right? Because half of the bike cost is engine. So now engine, so there is a small piston or something, some small parts there. You can open the engine and you can replace those and you can use the same engine, right? You can recondition the engine. So that maintenance process is called as refurbishment. So calibration maintenance process. What is nothing but calibration? So there are some measuring equipments like a weighbridge. You know, guys, weighbridge, right? I think highway side, road side, there will be a weighbridge where you can measure the weight on the weighbridge, right? So, like if you don't do the maintenance of the weighbridge like 2 3 years, so it will start giving the incorrect reading, right? So that's why. And when you have to do the maintenance and you have to calibrate those equipments, whether it's showing correct result or not, like okay, all those things. How to do this kind of maintenance is called as calibration maintenance process. So capital nothing but investment order, capital or investment. So example, you are buying the new machine and how to install it in your this one production area and all, like it comes under capital. Most of the companies they don't use this. Okay, so most widely used maintenance order process is preventive. Breakdown very less because your intention target is to avoid the your target is for, you should target for less breakdown, and corrective 10% and refurbishment around 28 15%. So calibration around 15%. Like major maintenance process in the organization is preventive maintenance. So any doubts, guys, in maintenance process? Is it clear?
Yeah, it is clear.
No doubts, right?
No doubts.
Okay. So any questions or something? Do you have it?
No, sir, it's clear.
No
Hmm?
doubt.
All right. Yeah. So there is another concept called as centralized maintenance. So centralized maintenance process is called as, ask in interview also, like okay, what is centralized, decentralized? So centralized maintenance. An example, Bangalore. in Biddi there is a Toyota factory is there. Factory nothing but it's a plant, right? So it's a big plant. Obviously there's a maintenance team. So maintenance team, their job is to repair the machine whenever there is a problem, right? So there's a that's why it's called as a planning plant. It's a main plant. So whatever happens in Bangalore, if there is any equipment, some machines shut down or something, so their own maintenance Bangalore. I mean Bangalore team itself, they will repair their equipments. Okay, they do the maintenance. I mean, so Bangalore itself is the planning and execution of their own maintenance activities. It's called as planning plant. Now, Toyota has the plant in Chennai and Hyderabad. What happens? Now Chennai and Hyderabad, they don't have a maintenance team. And if any machineries or something break down in Chennai or Hyderabad, so Bangalore maintenance team will go and they will do the maintenance work there. They will repair. Ideally, logically speaking, Bangalore team to going in Hyderabad, Chennai plant, it takes one or 2 days, and it's like tedious, and I mean it's a delay, right? So that's why in real time this scenario will not work because they cannot Chennai and Hyderabad, they cannot wait the Bangalore maintenance team to come and repair their machines, right? So in centralized maintenance plant, planning plant is one planning plant can be assigned to the different maintenance plant. You'll understand this later, okay? Because one centralized plant will be there that is for responsible for planning and execution of the maintenance activities, different maintenance plant. So that this model, this concept is called as centralized maintenance. Decentralized maintenance. So Bangalore itself, Bangalore plant, there is a maintenance team, and Chennai, they have their own maintenance team. Hyderabad itself, they have their own maintenance team. In Hyderabad plant, Hyderabad factory, any machines got problem or something, so their own maintenance team people, maintenance technician, they will repair, right? Chennai also, Chennai technicians, maintenance technicians, they will repair their one plant, one equipments, machines. Bangalore also, they repair their own. So here it's a independent, and here planning plant and maintenance plants are same. This is called as decentralized maintenance. 99%, almost all the companies, they use decentralized concept. So when centralized maintenance process will work then? So centralized maintenance process, like, okay, if there are two factories, plants nearby, just 1 kilometer apart, okay, so plant A, plant B, just 1 kilometer distance. So plant A is the main plant, and so let's have a maintenance team there, and they will take care of any machineries got a problem or something in the plant A itself. And even plant B, why do you have another maintenance department over there? So it's just only takes 5 minutes to reach there, and if anything happens in plant B, factory B, then so factory A maintenance team will immediately rush and immediately repair, right? If there is a nearby, then the centralized concept will work, but very rare. So that's it about PM SAP PM introduction. Do you have questions or doubts? In SAP, like there will be, once you complete the course, like in SAP, especially in SAP, there will be more on-site and offshore opportunities will be there. So many in SAP, like many people, they get a on-site opportunity to travel to the different. So tomorrow Toyota, if you get a chance to work on from the Accenture, if you get a chance to work on Germany plant, so you go to the Germany and you implement the SAP over there. So that's why. So almost all the companies, they use SAP, right? So that's first, like usually team leads, senior people, they are allowed to communicate with the clients nothing but all this product based. They are given the SAP project to the Infosys, IBM, right? We call them as a vendor, we call these companies as a client. Now tomorrow, once you complete the course, you have to join IT companies, okay, and you have to work for these companies, clients. You have to work, you should work for clients, different project. So That's how usually you should be very careful. I mean, more experienced people, senior consultants, they are initially they are allowed to speak with the clients, because clients are most valuable for these companies, right? Accenture tomorrow, Toyota will say, I don't want to give, I'm not happy with Accenture, they will give the project to Infosys. So that's why for as IT service companies, they treat client as a most valuable. Okay, and you should be very careful while interacting with the clients, etc. But after experience and all, you will learn slowly. Okay, so all those things is not a big deal. So usually team leads and above, like senior people, they will interact, and junior people they will assist the senior people's team leads, etc. Whatever the work they allocate, so you will be doing. Okay,